Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? This is it, man. We made it, baby. This is my first trip back to the big screen, and I gotta be fair, I'm really glad it's this movie. Tenet. Right, so Tenet is the latest Christopher Nolan movie, and you know, mate, when you hear that name, Christopher Nolan, you know you're in for a good movie, mate. And this movie, for the most bit, didn't disappoint. I also want to say that during these last few months, the channel has really picked up a large amount of new subscribers. And I know it says it in the title, ladies and gentlemen, but I just want to say again, there's going to be no spoilers, mate. And with a movie like this, based on time, you need to stay away from them spoilers, mate. Right, so the basic premise for the movie, it's about time. It's kind of like a spy/espionage movie. There's a lot of things going on, man. There's so much going on. It's not just like some generic, dodgy time thing. Christopher Nolan, mate, absolute legend. He's thought of like every little detail that you need to know for this film to be convincing. Because when you're dealing with time, it can be epic or a flop, mate. There's no in between. And yeah, I'm very happy to say it's definitely a flop, mate. The premise, the story, I was on board, mate. The second this film opens up, it does not stop. For a movie that is 150 minutes, 2.5 hours, I was not bored for a second, mate. It does not stop. That's not to say it's 2.5 hours of pure action. There's actually, I wouldn't say a lack of action. There is definitely action, mate. In fact, the movie is genuinely so complex that the audience is kind of spoon-fed exactly what's going on, and we learn it through the protagonist who has got no clue what's going on, just like us. But the premise itself is totally new, and I give massive respect for anyone who could come up with something new, a new idea. I'm on board, mate. Honestly, the premise alone is a 10 out of 10. The idea is so sick. As for the story, I wouldn't say it's generic or boring or nothing like that. It's just, you've seen it before, just not involving time. Good guys, bad guy, end of the world. It's, you know the deal, man. But yeah, now I want to talk about the cast. Our lead protagonist of the movie is played by John David Washington. And straight up, my man is so sick, mate. He is so good in this role. He starts off not knowing nothing, mate, which really helps. And his character, unlike another character I'll talk about in a minute, his character is totally 100% believable. Even with the crazy stuff going on, you believe him. He feels like a real person. He's got emotions. He's a badass, mate. Straight up, man. The lead actor, sick. Also helping him in the journey is a character called Neil, who's played by Robert Pattinson. Again, straight up banger, mate. Just his acting is so good. I am so looking forward to him becoming the Batman. Which, yeah, that trailer. Whew. But yeah, another epic performance by Robert Pattinson, mate. Him and John, when they're on screen together, that was genuinely the best bit of the entire film for me. Forget all the time stuff. When they're on screen, talking, doing stuff together, I was loving it, mate. And the last character I want to talk about, her name is Kat. She's played by Elizabeth Debicki, which I hope that's how you say her name. She was also really good. She brought some, like, down-to-earth stuff, emotions that we needed. I can't really explain it. It is definitely going into spoiler stuff, so we'll skip that. But her story, I was definitely invested in. Her other half, not so much. Her husband is the main villain. He is generic, mate. He's like a generic supervillain, mate. Super rich, super powerful, thick Russian accent. Just him in this movie felt like a comic book supervillain, which is really weird because the rest of the movie is genuinely gritty and realistic. And that's a movie based around the concept of time, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I like to think you guys know me by now. I love villains. Like, villains can make or break a movie or a show for me. Like, I prefer them to heroes. Sorry, mate. But yeah, the villain, he didn't suck. He wasn't bad or anything like that. Just a little bit unbelievable for the movie he was in. There's also a bunch more A-list actors and actresses. I'm not going to go through them all. I want you to be surprised as I did. I saw some people in this film I did not expect. And now it's time to talk about the other stuff. Sound, visuals, the directing. Unreal, mate. Straight up. When the movie started, there's some music playing. I was hooked, mate. I was like, yeah, this is Nolan, man. Just everything from the sound to the colour palette, just, it screams Nolan, and I'm a big Nolan fan, mate. Inception is one of my favourite movies of all time, mate. There's a lot of scenes that reminded me of Inception. I'm not going to go into details. There are scenes which I've never seen in movies before, involving time. There's a chase scene. There's some fight scenes that are bangers, mate. You need to experience that on the big screen. Just Blu-ray or whatever ain't gonna do it justice, man. It's actually hard for me to explain some of the action scenes and like why they're so good. They're kind of, well, they're not really spoilers, but you'll wait for them, so I'm not really gonna say anything, but I'm just gonna say straight up, the sound and the visuals and the directing, so good, mate. It's a Nolan film, man. You know it's going to be good. The expectations of a Nolan film, they have to be reached. This definitely reached it. I did have nitpicky things with it. After the halfway point, I kind of pieced together where they were going. For the majority, I was right. There was some twists and turns that I was not expecting, mate. The premise alone is so sick. The actors, all of them smashed it, apart from that dodgy villain. He wasn't that bad. But yeah, overall, this movie is pretty sick, mate. Just the concept of time it's on everyone's mind. There's a lot of loopholes, a lot of things like, oh, well, if this happens, then this surely can't happen. All those little things can make or break a time film. I'm really pleased to say Nolan addresses everything. He definitely made sure to go through everything, and the movie explains it really good, man. This movie was really good. It's definitely on the long side, and I would say it's definitely not for everyone. Like, if you get bored easily, or you get distracted easily, or you just can't work out films in general, probably best you skip this, mate. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this film, and I'm so glad this was the movie that brought me back to the movie theatre, and I'm going to give Tenet 8 nerds out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my review for Tenet. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it? Please let me know in that comment section below. I also want to say massive love to Cineworld, which you guys and girls are sick, mate. The cinema was stupidly clean. I felt properly safe. And yeah, you know, the pandemic's going on. Massive love to Cineworld. You smashed it, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching my review. And I'll see you all in the next one.